I've literally just arrived in Barcelona because I'm running the Barcelona Half on Sunday. Today is Friday. It's gonna be my third half marathon, which I'm super excited about. I'm gonna try a different technique this time, which I've been posting about on Instagram, so I might run through that a little bit later on so you can kind of see how I'm doing it. But yeah, so excited to be here. Let me show you this fucking view. So gorge. I mean, it's a bit cloudy at the minute, but I think it's gonna brighten up. Good morning. I tell you what I don't like about race days is these early bloody mornings. It's like coming up to 7 now. Oh my god, look at my eye bags. And I've been awake since, I don't know, like 6:30 or something. I'm ready, kind of. I don't even know if I'm gonna wear these shorts yet. We shall see. I had a cold before, but it feels so much worse today. I don't know why, because I've literally been fine for the last few days, so that's great. I'm gonna go down for breakfast in a minute, but I feel like the plan of action, I was going through my like walk run splits last night, and it's gonna be such a guess, right? Because I've been ill for like 5 days, so even when I did the first run split test, I was ill then. So I feel like I found it harder than I would have if I wasn't ill. So I don't really know what the plan is. I'm gonna run between I think it was like a 6:45 and a 6:50 pace, 3 minutes running, 1 minute walking, and we'll just see how we go. If I have to slow down as I go, then that's fine. Yeah, I just kind of want to finish today. Having a lovely little decaf coffee, gonna have some breakfast, come back up here. I think we start at 9:15 or 9:20 and it's currently 7, so I've got time to have breakfast and let that digest and then head out. So yeah. Right, I am ready to go now. I just had this moment where I realised I brought my headphones. Well, I thought I brought my headphones, and I opened my headphone case and my headphones are clearly still in London because they're not in there. So that is gonna be a struggle because I always put my headphones in when it starts to get hard and I just blast Taylor Swift, and now I'm freaking out a little bit because I don't have that backup plan, you know? So I'm like searching every inch of my hotel room and belongings to see if I can find it, but I actually think I've just left them like in London. So yeah, I fucked up there. But it's fine. I'm ready to go. I've got my number on. I'll quickly show you what I'm wearing today. So vest is the Solomon vest that I always wear, it's Active Skin 4. This vest is Brooks. My leggings are also Brooks. They're just plain black leggings. I was going to wear shorts, but it's super windy. And then these are the Glycerin 21s by Brooks as well. I've used the Glycerin 20s for most of my training so far, and I love them, and these are just like a nice little upgrade. And that is everything. My cold is really making it hard to breathe. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I've got a cold, I've got no headphones, but yeah, I'm just gonna go and give it as the best shot that I can, basically, and also try and enjoy it, which is just as important. So I'll probably see you during the race, and let's go and run a half marathon, my third one. Today we are run walking at the Barcelona Half Marathon. My headphones aren't in my headphone case. Shit. Not ideal. So I'm on my first walk. It feels so weird because I'm like a kilometre and a half in and everyone else is obviously still running, but this is the strategy. I do feel a bit of a tit. Here we go again. About 40 minutes in, first little gel. So fucking windy. Run walking's getting easier now. I feel like I've got used to it, and there's more people walking now. 10k in, nearly halfway through. Feeling good, just had my second gel. Sticking to the paces that I've set-ish. I think we're over 12k now. Still feeling good, trying to speed up a bit. Look at this view. 18k, I don't really know. And this is always the hardest part for me. So close, yeah. We just got that extra push but I can see the sea. After finishing her race, Charlie saw me towards the end and she ran part of my last kilometre with me, which was so needed. I was flagging massively at this point, so this was such a good push to the finish line. I'm fucking done. Oh my god. Thank you. Such a good cry. And just like that, I am back in London with the medal. The race is done. It was so much fun. I will do a quick race debrief. I'm going to show you how I decided on what paces I was going to do in my run walk splits. So I'm going to take this off. That was actually my third half marathon and it was by far my favourite one. My fueling pre-race was better. During, not so good because I did forget one gel, so I only had 2 gels. I planned to have 3 gels. It was better with my hydration. I was taking electrolytes that have really worked for me and I've really got on with. Forgot my headphones, which I think you will have seen in the previous clips. That was honestly a bit of a smack in the face when I saw that 7:30 in the morning and I was like, Taylor Swift is my backup plan for when it starts to get tough at around 15k. But actually I think because I was in Barcelona is a relatively new city to me. I'd been once before but it was for work years ago, so I don't know it well at all. So as I was running through the streets, no headphones, I think I was just really taking it all in. I think it would have been very different if I was running through London, where it's somewhere that I've run through quite a lot before. Because it was so new and it was just a nice sunny European city, it just made the whole thing actually a lot easier than I thought it would be without headphones. So thank you Barcelona for being a very beautiful city. Phone keeps buzzing. So the run itself was good. I think it was pretty flat apart from one point when it gets 18k and there's a small hill and then at the top of the hill you can see the sea and the beach and it's good vibes. I think it was beginner friendly. One of the only things I will say, and I have mentioned this on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram you'll already know my dilemma, was after I realised I was going to the race, I checked the cut-off time just, to see what it was, and it was 2 hours and 45 minutes, which for me as a slow runner, and I'm sure for a lot of people watching this video, a half marathon in 2 hours and 45 minutes is hard, and just knowing that you have that cut-off kind of makes it a lot more scary and feels like there's more pressure involved and maybe takes away from the fun a little bit. I actually ended up completing the half in 2 hours 30 minutes and 7 seconds, so it was actually a PB. I've never run a half marathon that fast before, so I was also chuffed that I managed to pull that off on the day. There was a lot of people behind me as well, and I think that when they do that cut off, it's actually from the last person that crosses the line, not from when the first person crosses the line, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't let it deter you from doing a race that has not a very forgiving cut off if you are a slower runner, but you can also find alternative runs that are more inclusive, I guess, and the cut off is a bit more generous. So yeah, overall race was good. I would say the turnout in terms of the spectators was a bit hit and miss. I don't know if it's just because I was obviously one of the last waves to go, so people just they've cheered people on and then they've gone about their day. But there were points where there weren't that many people compared to, I'm obviously just comparing it to the Manchester and the Oxford half because those are the only halves that I've actually done other than the Barcelona one. So that's all I've got to go off, but there weren't that many people en route. But then at certain points there were huge crowds of people, and then towards the end was also really fun as they cheer you on for the last kilometre or so. So it was great, and then afterwards we had lunch and sat by the beach. I had 2 Diet Cokes and chips and it was just fab. That was the race in a nutshell. What I am going to do as well is I'm going to post all of my splits here just so that you can see how it was broken down. And now I'm also going to get into how I figured out how I was going to do my run walking splits. Let's go. A week before I did the half marathon, I did a 10k, and this 10k was basically to test out my run walk ratios. I think people call it jeffing. So I went over to mypacecalculator.com/runwalk.html, and it basically shows you your net pace based on your run walk intervals. It will give you an overall time for a specific distance. If you have watched my videos before, you'll know that I use the training app Runner, which basically create bespoke running plans depending on your pace, you know, how advanced you are. There's a lot of data within that app. You could probably also like get it from Strava as well, or whatever other app you use. You don't have to use Runner to get this data. I'm just saying a lot of the Runner plans. So that's kind of where I chose to pull all of my pacing from. I chose a pace that was realistic for me using data from this app. I knew that I could run for X amount of minutes. So for me, I started off with a 4-to-1 ratio. So I would run for 4 minutes, walk for 1 minute. That was just kind of something that I found online as like a guide. Don't take my word as gospel. If you're new to running, you've only been doing it for like a few weeks or whatever, maybe you do 1 minute walking, 1 minute running, or, you know, have a play about with it. Don't take what I'm saying as professional advice, because let me tell you, it is far from it, okay? So I started off with 4 minutes. So in this pace calculator, I put for every 4 minutes running, I do 1 minute walking. And then I put my running pace and walking pace in. Again, I got this from multiple different apps that I use. So I think I set my running pace to around 6:30 and my walking pace to around a 10:30. And then the units that I use kilometers, but if you use miles, you can also do that. And then you click calculate, it will tell you what your net pace is, so your kind of overall pace, and then it will show you like an estimated time or different distances all the way from 0.5k up to a marathon. So I took this information and I said, okay, I'm gonna give this a go with my 10k. I went out and I did my 10k. I do have a video linked on this specific 10k on Instagram, which I'll leave below if you wanna go and watch that. So I went out and I did this 10k, and then I'm not gonna lie, like I got to like maybe 7 or 8k and I was really starting to feel fatigued. So at this point I knew, okay, this method, the run walk method, is working in a sense of like I'm actually enjoying it and I'm not absolutely killing myself, but I can't do this for 21 kilometers. So at that point I already knew I was going to have to adjust it, either bringing the ratio down or slowing down my pace, or both. At that point I was like, I don't really know. Again, it's just trial and error. So I ended up finishing that 10k in about 1 hour and 9 minutes, which was a personal best for me. I think the quickest I'd run a 10k before that was like 1 hour and 12 or 13 minutes. So honestly, I was like so shocked that I could have improved my pace so much by walking more, and this just was, I was like, okay, no brainer, I have to do this for the half. I kind of left it to the last minute to figure out what I was actually going to do for the half. I was in bed the night before the race, kind of like working it out. And I think I ended up going with, for every 3 minutes of running, I did 1 minute of walking, and I set my running pace from, I think it was between 6:40 and 6:50. And my walking pace was around 9:30, and I got that data from the 10k that I did because I was consistently kind of walking at that sort of pace. And I basically did this strategy throughout the half marathon. I ran for the first kilometer just because when you start, there's obviously a bigger group, and I didn't want to start kind of pissing people off by walking so close to the start. So I ran for a kilometer at about a 7 kilometer pace. From there, I went straight into the around 6:40 per kilometer, running for 3 minutes, and then into the walking. I did that until I got to about 1 kilometer towards the end, and then I just ran the last kilometer as fast as I could possibly go. And that meant that I got a personal best. The next day, I wasn't aching, like my body felt a little bit heavy, but I wasn't sore. Really do put that down to obviously the volume of training that I've been doing. Like, it's a testament to the training that I've been doing, but I also think that because I wasn't running for 2 hours and 30 minutes, my body didn't take as much of an impact, and I think it made my recovery quicker. So I am going to be using this strategy for my longer runs, and also probably recovery runs too, just when I am feeling super exhausted and I just slow my pace right down and allow myself to walk a bit more. And that was it. That's kind of like how I did it. I'm such a big fan of this run walk technique, and it's definitely something, as I said, that I'm going to be carrying on going forwards, and I would really suggest giving it a go if you've never done it before. I think there's a bit of a stigma around walking during runs, especially within races where it feels like everybody is running. As a slower runner, it is harder, because if you think about some people that are running like a 1.5 hour half marathon versus people like me and other people who are running, you know, a 2.5 hour plus half marathon, it's a lot more time on feet, which is really, really fucking exhausting. So I think anything that you can do to make that easier and more enjoyable, you should definitely give it a go. So if you have any questions, let me know. As I said, I'm not an expert at all, so take everything that I say with a pinch of salt. Don't just use my ratio paces, base it off what is a really realistic pace for you and what you've been running at and what you feel comfortable you can run at for a certain amount of time with those rests. And yeah, let me know how you get on. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try and help you as much as I can. But that was it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more videos like this, more race videos, more marathon training videos, then you can subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram as well. And I will see you in the next video.